Hey guys, um, after $20 later, we finally have everything we want in NWR. We have the battle worn skin for the assault rifles. This is just really nice looking for the G3. Fucking love the wood furniture on it. It's a classic. It's a military classic look. It actually looks like the Setme rifles, which is funny if I actually look up if you guys want to do some research on some military history here, some Spanish rifles, look up the CETME Model C. And what you will see, the Setme Model C is pretty much, for all intents and purposes, pretty much is a H&K G3. Pretty much for all intents and purposes. It literally looks just like this. It has the same style stock. It's very similar to the Sturmgewehr stock. Very similar. Not the same, but very similar. We would also see these kind of stocks on FNFAL. It's a shame the FNFAL is not in this game. I wonder what this skin would look like on the FNFAL. Probably be Israeli furniture, but like battle worn a little bit. It would be really cool to see a lot of Israeli furniture on FNFALs if it was in MWR. I wish that they put it in the game. Because you see, they gave us 3 assault rifle picks, the XMLAR, which was a really nice like assault rifle. It basically felt like an ACR kind of setup here. Really nice. It feels great. It's extremely powerful, surprisingly. It pretty much does it actually does more damage than the G3. The G3 is semi-auto. So consider that this is full auto with stopping power. This thing is literally like a one-tap weapon, pretty much, and to the head it's an insured one tap. You could easily put this gun is the XMLAR. If this is just not your go-to weapon, then I don't know what is. Now the BOS 14, for the first 5 shots, bullets are doing increased damage, about, I'd say, a little bit less than stocking power, but with stocking power equipped, your first 5 is just instant shred. It is stronger than the XMLAR. Still surprisingly high amounts of damage, but for all intents and purposes, the M14 still remains stronger than the XMLAR. But considering that the XMLAR is full auto, I'd say its total destructive capability is just enhanced. You cannot question that. Now the Lynx, it does 3 more damage above the which is basically, this is a Honey Badger for all intents and purposes. It is an SBR'd AR-15 lower upper setup here. You can clearly see the buffer tube and whatnot. Really cool gun. I actually prefer the Lynx over the XMLAR because this thing's fire rate is extremely high. With double tap, this thing just shreds. It's a submachine gun with assault rifle damage, but this is very compatible setup here. Which is really nice. And actually, an ACOG on this weapon actually feels pretty good. And same with the XMLAR and the BOS 14 with ACOGs. Actually work relatively decent. You still have that awkward ADS speed and the whole, idle sway. I feel like the sway is less on the XMLAR, though. I don't think it is as intense as some other rifles. But the G3 looks really nice with the battle worn skin. Now, we were going to equip a battle worn, not battle worn, it's battle tested skin for the Deagle. On these pistols, on some of them, you can see the grips are broken. The M1911 and the the BR9, which for all intents and purposes is basically is a modern Luger P08. Modern and Luger P08 don't really go together. It is a modern P08. Now, I do wish that they included a Makarov in the basic setup, because, you know, Russian weaponry means a lot to me. I love Russian weaponry. I think it is some of the coolest looking weapons out there. The AK-47 is just a classic, tried and true. For sure, the AK-74U in Call of Duty is just one of the strongest submachine guns in the game, one of the best. All you have to do is slap double tap onto it. Some people say, oh, well, double tap just increases your fire rate. Well, that is very true. That kind of fire rate with this kind of damage, all you got to do is throw on some penetration or extreme conditioning and some bandolier. You know, I personally run double tap on it sometimes, and it just shreds enemies so quickly. The thing that really pisses me off is the range on it. I wish that the range was a little bit more capable. The suppressor really shrinks it, but it's really still a great weapon up close. Now, suppressors don't really fuck with your damage. They only fuck with your damage at far off range. And on submachine guns, this is most notable because submachine guns already have piss poor range, because it's shooting a pistol caliber weapon with a suppressor. It's just not that effective. Okay, it's just not effective. And the thing is, up close, there is no significant change, but far away you could definitely tell there is. It could be an easily 13 shot versus a 9 shot up close. So I mean, like 13 shots or 9 shots, yeah, 4 shot difference at far range. When an enemy's not using a suppressor and just only takes 3 shots to kill you at far range, it can make a for sure a difference, especially if they're running Juggernaut. Which is the one thing you really want to consider. ACOG is pretty much trash on most weapons. The thing is, you cannot steady aim this. Now, look, if you could steady aim the AUG with iron lungs, I'd be fine with the shitty idle sway if you can hold a firm angle thing. The one thing that pisses me off about the weapon attachment loadout is that there is no foregrip. I'd be fine with a slower ADS if you can control your recoil more accurately. They actually do have a foregrip option. It is literally only for LMGs and shotguns, though. But the thing is, it gets rid of perk 1. On this older Call of Duty, I don't know why that happens, but, you know, for a gun like this, bandolier for me is not really a must, but it's definitely one of those that I really want to be on there. On modern Call of Duties, there's all this attachment loadout weapons and stuff like that, but it's cool either way. I don't really care all that much. I had this really retarded Russian loadout. It was literally sickle, RPG-7, AK-47, and a PKM, like the most Russian loadout. On a Spetsnaz uniform. I thought that was very cool. I really like the PKM. A lot of people have some negative things to say about it. It's not as good as the RPD. Granted, I'd say the MK8 still holds up. This gun still holds up rather well. Considering that with double tap, let me just run you guys through some of the shit with these weapons. The Tactical Warfighter, I love this weapon select loadout. Now Blackout's pretty cool. If you can look at this, you can clearly see that it takes a two-tone, like upper lower. The lower is like a stainless steel and the upper is like a black oxide kind of finish. Kind of cool. The stock changes, it's skeletonized, so it's reduced weight. You know, but in the grip also takes a huge change. It's a wider grip with a thin cut toward the top for your finger, you know, grooves between your thumb and your index finger. I thought that was really nice. They don't really change the sights, but they do add this really cool flashlight attachment that goes up in the corner between your sight and your right-sided handguard. I don't know. It also, the weird thing about this is the charging handle is on the left side and the bolt is on the right side. So this is definitely not an AR-15 style. And the charging handle on this is really cool, really weird. It's a cool looking weapon, I'll give it that. The Challenger just looks stupid. It has a really badass foregrip going for it. I like the whole, it's got the forward stop thing on the front of it. I just like what they were going with here with it. I don't think I see that on any other variant of this. It doesn't have that forward stop. It sticks off the corner there. And the stock is unique. But the problem is it's just a weird colored mess. I don't like the color design. I like a brutally realistic tactical kind of approach. The shitty part about this, the reactive skin on the Mac 10, an IRL, this design would not function at all properly. If you look on the top, you will actually notice that there is a scope mount thing, right? You'll see it on the side. Now look at the look at where the rounds shoot out of. Look, okay. See, that's where see that huge gap on the side? That's where the rounds come out of, the ejection port, right? Well, for one, this wouldn't work either. This has barbed wire over the ejection port, right? See that barbed wire above that ejection port? Okay, it might have a lot of hiccups. It might be prone to fail. Now imagine blocking the entire fucking charge or ejection port. You're just begging for a malfunction at this point. You're begging for your fucking gun to fucking explode or jam. One or the other, and it's most likely the other. Oh man. I have the S-TAC Aggressor, the D25S, which I personally really like the D25S. Granted, it isn't the best in the world, but it's definitely decently performing. That's for damn sure. I like the slate skin on the sniper rifles. I wish they came up with this for Blackout. I wish Blackout was like a slate for the assault rifles. So it's a sort of tactical, like I said, just making everything all black. Which actually kind of is cool that they have the Blackout skin, but I wish I had Blackout for literally every weapon. Like Avalanche for every weapon. Make everything white, make everything black. One for nighttime and one for in the snow. See what I mean? Just, I don't know. I don't know, man. But I can definitely unlock this very soon. It will be my next pick, I believe. Here's the thing. I would like the ghillie. I would like the ghillie suit thing, but the only thing I have for ghillie is this, which is important. But, you know, once I get this and these three down here, once I get this and these two down here, everything else should be pretty easy. So I'm going to work on getting that and slate. Field tested, yes, I can get it right now. I can actually get field tested right now. It's just I don't really desire field tested, but I do want to get field tested and battle tested, because my pistols and my sniper rifles have the same skin as my assault rifle and my submachine guns. Kind of cool because it has a lot of interchangeability. The battle worn stuff is pretty cool. I really like it. The assassin setup here, I really like this. It changes some guns to look really cool. I like the way it makes some of them look. Even the Dragunov takes this really badass sort of grip. Not grip, handguard. It doesn't really work as a barrel shroud, but it's kind of neat. The barrel looks really cool. It kind of looks like a drill bit. As for this, I'm not really sure. The Barrett 50 looks dope either way. I like the Barrett 50 in the slate skin, though, I believe. I believe it's my favorite one. If we take a closer gander at it, it just looks devastational. If we actually take a Barrett 50 real quick, have a Barrett 50 here. This is what a Barrett 50 looks like with the slate skin, and this is what it looks like without it. It literally, I think it... Okay, look, here's a good example. So here's the Barrett 50 regularly speaking. It's the same thing, just it's bloodied. That's all this does. Grizzly, that's all this thing does. And I can get this soon, pretty soon as well. But I wish that they added this for pistols. I mean, I would really desire a 1911 to be all bloodied up, has blood coming out of the slide, and underneath the barrel it has blood splatters all around the slide, but coming from the lower receiver, the grip splattered, the trigger just drenched in blood, and then just the trigger guard itself just having small splatters, tiny micro splatters of blood. I think it would look really neat. Having the sights even be like one of the sights being like bloodied out a little bit, and the front sight post itself just has some blood on both sides, would be really neat looking, I think, aesthetically speaking. I like the blood everywhere. It's different. It makes it look like you're just a grizzled survivor and you've just been through some shit, and it's your blood. The blood of your comrades all over your weapons. Oh, that's kind of cool. Maggots. This is just gross. So you take this, now you put it with this. So if you look at the foregrip, it actually, or not the foregrip, not the barrel shroud, but the yeah, in the upper part of it changes too. The part that holds the scope, they put more on there. They take away this carry handle thing on the side. They just get rid of that, which I think gives it a very tactical, straight to business kind of look to it, which is just really nice. The stock has a subtle change. It actually tightens up the skeletonized part of it and actually makes the stock look a little bit wider. It's still the same width, but they make it look like it's wider. It gives a pretty cool illusion. The grip, I don't really like the change that they did to the grip. They make it more solid and bulkier. I don't think it needs to be bulkier, but it's definitely cool because it's unique looking. And apart from that, really, the trigger doesn't really change at all. The actual magazine port, the part that the mag's being held in by, changes. And they actually, it looks like they just put a whole body kit over it. It looks to be thicker, which makes it look bigger and better. So I don't know, man. I really like the way that the slate makes everything else look. If you actually look at this, they do this cool triangle cutout on the R7 or the Remington 700. I really want to own one of these, by the way. But yeah, pretty neat. The S-Tac Aggressor, I'm not really sure what all changes. I know the grip changes. I really like the way that they have this thing looking. Okay, so the M40, it's positive. It's definitely a positive. It's not the worst I've ever seen. I like the way that they have the barrel looking there. It's definitely really nice looking. The Dragunov takes this really nice looking tactical look to it. This tactical Dragunov SVT, 4D kind of look to it. It's just, I don't know, but it's all tactical and modernized. It looks really good. I like it. The chalk finish. This thing is just a joke. I hate this on every weapon that it's on. I have no idea why in the hell this was even a thing. Kill shot. It's the reskin of Assassin just with red and gold. I'm not really a fan of that. The Chamakatka 12 Kamchatka 12 or whatever you're gonna call it. This weapon's really nice. The best loadout for it is actually double tap. Makes this thing just drench enemies so quickly. The thing is, though, you definitely want bandolier because this thing does not have a lot of ammo, which is unfortunate. And its reload speed, I wish, was also faster. But we all wish we had. So The other thing I'd like to talk about with shotguns are the Rangers. Now, these things are pretty dope. They're pretty cool guns in general. But there is one big thing about the Rangers. So the one flaw about the Rangers are that their range is ass. These things don't have range for jack shit. This is the shortest range shotgun, therefore weapon in the game, besides the knife. Yeah. So up close, these things are fucking devastating, my guy. Dude, these things are fucking devastating up close. You do not want to fuck with somebody that has this at all up close. You do not want the smoke. Believe me, you don't want the smoke up close with these things. They are just fucking deadly. These things are literally god tier. Even if, and this is a big if, even if you have Juggernaut, you still don't want to fuck with these things. Like, look, bro, I'm telling you, bro. Like, just listen to this shit, bro. Here's the best way you can run these things, bro. If we look at the damage stats, look at the damage. These guns, I think, do more damage than the Barrett 50. The Barrett 50 does 5 less damage. This thing's insane. The thing is about these, though, the best way to run them, in my definitive opinion, sleight of hands, steady aim, and frag grenades for spamming purposes. Add a 44 Magnum for fascination. I don't know. For stylistic purposes. Now you're an actual cowboy. So just take a listen at this. Okay, we're gonna throw in some enemy bots just to show you how difficult this can really get. Health is at normal, number of lives is unlimited. Let me just show you guys how deadly the Rangers are. If I were to actually give these things a review, I'd give them like a 7 out of 10. Because of the inaccuracy of them. The thing is, they're so inaccurate, your chance of your hit probability is guaranteed at close medium. But like at medium to far, like medium far, like toward that, like, you know, range of where it's like, okay, your enemies are decently away from you. These things are pretty bad. Now it is a 4-shot capacity. Granted, they're you're dual wielding, and these things have insane amounts of recoil. So if you put steady aim on it and just use hip fire, because of steady aim, I'm not too concerned about the about range, considering, or not range, but accuracy at close range. That was a person with you want to do that. You want to do one da 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 da. You just want to do. It's just the way you want to run it. Chuck some frag grenades everywhere. Some people even run Juggernaut competitively with it, and it works because it just allows you to get up and close and personal. But definitely the hip fire accuracy thing definitely just makes it a lot more user friendly, especially in medium range. I wish steady aim also decreased recoil. If you actually just saw what I just did there, that volley of just deadliness. Like, yeah, these things are definitely pretty fun. They definitely are questionable. I don't recommend to immediately go for these. I think the Chamakatka is better. think the Chamakatka is going to take it for the win. Now I'm going to show you gameplay with that, actually. We've lost the lead, cool. First of all, I'm going to show you gameplay with the Xmlar Suppressed. A decent assault rifle, too suppressed in my opinion. And this gun just wails on enemies so easily. With stopping power, this thing really does shine, I think, personally, since it does more damage than the G3. And yes, this is an automatic shotgun with magazine attachability. Running stopping power on this makes this gun hit extremely hard, especially on juggernauts, but the thing is, the gun's already hitting hard. The problem is the range capability. If this thing had more range, I honestly feel like it would be a lot more versatile. With that being said, without there being anything to actually increase the range, increasing your damage at far range definitely makes a difference. So with stopping power, I still feel like it's very helpful. But again, if stopping power, I don't know, did something like, I don't know, increase the range and the bullet speed, and make enemies flinch more while being shot, I think it would be the perfect pick for this weapon with all that shit combined. But unfortunately, all it does is just increase your base damage, which this thing has a lot. But the problem is, shotguns do not have headshot multipliers. So unfortunately, there is no super big bonus for getting headshots with this thing with, you know, that kind of a perk. The other big concern I have is, like I said, just the range capability. And so with that being said, even if hip firing, which is probably more optimal, you're still not really getting the precise damage at medium range, considering this thing has very shit range. Like I said, it is much superior to the, you know, the two Rangers, considering that they have a rapid spread effect. Like, as soon as it's coming out of the barrel, it spreads, instantly spreads. And so your hit probability of hitting a target at very close range is increased because it's going all over the place. So even if they suddenly move very quickly, like, if you can clearly see I'm still hitting their enemies, that damage was increased significantly and the range was better. I think that enemy would have already been dead. If they increased the one-shot kill range and the base range a lot, I think this gun would have easily been the best shotgun. I know why they nerfed it, but still, the nerfing, I think, did more harm than it did good. Now, the G3 is a very powerful semi-auto shotgun, and I think this thing has a very high headshot multiplier, because anytime you score a headshot, it's just ridiculously overpowered. But I don't know, man. I think that's a big concern with this thing. It's just the sheer cycling speed. If they had that shit increased, and the base accuracy even more increased, and the range further, I think that this gun would have seriously been considerably even better than what it is. Like I said, the big issue with this weapon that I have is that the stats that are good could definitely be a lot better, considering that it's a semi-auto assault rifle, meaning you can attach a grenade launcher to it, which would be totally pointless, because why would you need a grenade launcher, a noob tube on this? More importantly, the noob tube itself will actually do more harm than it does good, because this thing suffers from a very limited capacity. So getting rid of the chance of using bandolier, I think, harms this weapon. Granted, you don't need a lot of ammo to kill your enemies, but the GA3 with stopping power definitely is a overpowered loadout. The issue is some people run suppressor with it. That's perfectly fine, but this weapon excels at medium to long range encounters. You're decreasing your range total, and you're making the fall off range more, you know, common than what it should actually be. You're not using the weapon to its full potential. The other issue I have with this, I actually prefer using the iron sight over the actual reflex sight, even though the reflex sight gives you a more precise picture. I don't like how it's risen above the iron sight though, because I just don't like the way it looks visually speaking, and the iron sights in my opinion are actually rather accurate. If I can see a little bit more from the reflex sight, more clarity at a further distance, just ever so slightly, I'm getting a false narrative that I'm going to accurately hit my enemy at a very far distance, which is again unlikely if they're moving targets. So I don't know, I feel like this gives me the proper accuracy that I do need. The other issue I have with this is the ADS speed itself and your weapon switch speed, especially if you're switching to something like an MP5 or or a shotgun. It's definitely god awful. Sleight of hand I wish increased your switch speed and ADS speed. If that was the case, then sleight of hand would actually be really useful for like something like the Rangers, so you could switch over to a Desert Eagle and spray your enemy. The other thing I wish for this gun, the G3, is the cycling speed. The thing is, I'd be fine with its stats as it is if it just cycled through your next round faster. The speed in which it cycles was faster. That basically would, I don't know. We could even do a comparison actually of just G3 setups, and I want to show you guys something. If you were to use a ACOG scope on there, which is fine, totally fine. The thing is, you have a shitload of idle sway, and on a gun like that, and you're trying to hit enemies at a distance, you're making more of an effort to try to get it to stop on that target than actually fixing the situation. The thing is, it also has really good recoil control. The thing is, if it had just a little bit less recoil and faster cycling speed, the thing would be a death machine. The only problem is, it doesn't. It takes forever for the next round to cycle, meaning your enemy, if he's running full auto, is just going to shred your health bar down so low that you're just going to panic fire. Now, granted, this gun does almost shoot as fast as you can pull the trigger. And one of the nice things about that feature alone, like, okay, here's one of the best setups, double tap. But here's another setup, and I want to show you it. Stopping power with the G3. Now let's say it's my tactical G3 right here, and I'm just gonna run the red dot on there. If we're also going to take a look at the Chamakatka 12, if we look at the range capability on all shotguns, it also is the same. We all know that's bullshit. We all know that the Rangers have a lot less range because most of the pellets, the big part, a large amount of pellets on the outer perimeter already spread as soon as it comes out of the barrel. Which means if your enemy is just beyond your peripherals, you're going to guaranteed hit them. And due to the high damage, that small hit realistically wouldn't do much, but up close it's a one-shot tap. So these things are definitely great for up close if they're in your face, which is great for the map Shipment. But I just want to show you guys something really quickly, and that is the cycling speed difference between a G3 with the double tap, because I feel like it shoots twice as, the cycling speed is almost not twice as fast, but almost twice as fast. The thing is, it chambers your rounds faster, it seems, and ejects your rounds faster, so it appears that my cycling speed would be increased. It would appear that way. And here's the thing, with an accurate trigger finger, this is what double tap does to the G3. Now that's me rapid pulling my trigger. That was a whole mag. See what I mean? And now if it just had a stronger and better cycling speed to begin with double tap, it would make this gun extremely great, actually. Here's the thing. I don't think the XMLAR should do more damage than the G3. I think it should do just about the same amount. So if the G3 had, what was it, 10 more damage... You seeing how quick the time to kill is on this thing now? Like, the G3 with stopping power is an extremely powerful setup, especially on something like hardcore. It's a guaranteed. The G3 is already a guaranteed one tap. The thing has really great penetration, I believe. So with the deep impact on hardcore from far away range with the suppressor, you're pretty much going to one tap either way. There is no scenario where you're not going to. If that makes sense. The unfortunate part about the G3 is the ammo amount you have. You don't have a lot of ammo. Which I'd be fine with as long as it did more damage and had a faster cycling speed. You know, in general. So, this is again cycling speed of stopping power, and then this is the cycling speed of non-stopping power. And for the stopping power, we just kept the skid the same, and put the flashlight. This is non-stopping power. It is just twice as fast. So it does increase the cycling speed and the ejection speed, and the animation. So it just definitely allows you to trigger hose. If you have a really sensitive trigger or even modifier trigger, you can do this. Let's see if I can make it pretty for a while. So, yeah, no, it is definitely really intense. Here would be the recoil pattern. If you want to know how to paddle fire, like I call this paddle firing. You take your index finger, or your middle finger and your ring finger, put both in between your controller, just tips of fingers, and just... Yeah, that's not actual trigger finger, but that's just an obvious comparison. And again, if it had the double tap firing speed to begin with double tap, I feel like it would be actually a really positive setup. The thing is, the recoil on it is actually really controllable for how much firepower you're getting. The thing is, again, it is literally just the fire rate issue I have a problem with, because of the amount of ammo you don't really have in your ammo pool. I think you only get like, what, 3 mags, and they're 20 round mags, so you're basically getting like, what, 60 rounds in total. You get 20 and then 40 in your stock. So it's like, dude, what ammo do you have to really work with here? It doesn't do a lot to really help you. So I'd give the G3 a really low rating. Well, I mean, like, okay, obviously, granted, it is one of the stronger assault rifles in the game. Now, granted, if we were to take the M14, and I don't know, let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at the M14. The M14, to my knowledge, is one of the strongest like assault rifle types in the game, like one of the strongest. And so we're gonna go take a look at that here in a second. See, this is why I wish I had battle tested for this, because it would totally match the 1911. Um, yeah, no, so long story short, I mean, I don't know, the M14 has a lot of damage behind it, so with stopping power, I don't know, man, I feel like you're just, ooh, I love this old school style to it, man. I'm digging this skin. I'm digging this. This is on some World War II type shit. I think stopping power is like 20%. 20% of 50 is, I don't know, 16 or some shit like that. See, it would be really neat a deep impact also increase the range damage, the damage range, by like 5. On something like this, I feel like this would just be just astronomically OP. Because then I'd be running deep impact on a lot more things. But I love this, like, World War II. It's like a Garand almost, right? But it's obviously not, because it's an M14, so it's like an early stage M14. It's designed like Korean War, like early Korean War era. I love this. I love this. It would be a totally badass thing if they took this sort of, you know, design here that they got on this and apply it to the M4. It would be totally badass if they did the wooden M4 style. Now, I think they got something going for the M4, but it's not wooden. See, like the Fallout New Vegas wooden M4 kind of, M16 kind of look. They turned the M14 into like a Vietnam era, or the M4 into like a Vietnam War era, like M16 style. I would actually really like this skin so much. But the thing is, it doesn't. However, I'll tell you what it does do. Let's take a look at the M16 with the battle worn skin, or battle skin thing, whatever. Yeah, the M14 is totally badass. We're gonna put bandolier on there. Deep impact, deeper bullet penetration. Be badass if it also increased the damage range and also increased the bullet speed. On the M14, that's just totally deadly. The time to kill is just insane. It's like one tap for the most part. Yeah, we're definitely going to try to get battle tested. I have to do a little bit more grinding to get con, and then I have to do a little bit. And this is going to be easy. I can grab that right now. But battle tested. Battle tested 1911 with battle tested M14. It's a pretty dope ass thing you got there. Let's see what this does with this. Not too much. It would be cool if they put the wood in front. The only problem I have is they put a polymer or aluminum handguard when it should be wood. I don't see why that would change at all. It's totally dumb. Battle worn on this kind of sucks. Not gonna lie, it kind of sucks. Battle worn on the M16. This is one of the. Ooh yeah, oh yeah, it's cracked. The handguard is cracked, but it's the old school handguard. which actually makes me beg the question. Ooh, 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 ooh. They actually, dog, that is badass. That is badass looking right there. Okay. So it actually looks like they add this under rail thing to it, and looks like they also add the grenade launcher sight and some other things on there. It'd be cool if this actually would repair the grenade launcher attachment. It would be cool if it repaired the handguard. But yeah, we're just gonna do this. This is totally badass. 1911. We're going in there. Actually, more importantly, it's got double tap on it. It's cool. Now, I would really like it if the burst in between speed, the cycling speed of the burst itself, the fire rate of the burst, I would love it if the fire rate was increased by 700 more rounds per minute. Or whatever. Because I think that would be just totally badass with double tap. I have a lot of expectations on it. Look at this. Look at the way that looks. Dog, that is so cool looking. Alright.
Take no prisoners, comrades. We've taken the lead! UAV recon standing by. Our UAV is online.
$30 rounds, that means you get 10 burst fire.
UAV recon standing by.
You add stopping power, that means you get 10 kills. We're aiming to the upper torso. Alright, now we got bandolier. Now we got enough ammo to actually utilize this shit. Okay, the battle worn AK skin is fucking dope. Going all Russian here.
UAV recon standing by.
Again, I'm just a big fan of Russian weaponry. I think the PKM is a really cool looking weapon here.
UAV recon standing by. Our UAV is online.
I'm just goofing. I really like the way this M14 looks. I cannot deny just how badass this shit looks. It is a shame though it has to come in this like bandaged color here. There are some wooden M14 variants, but most of them are just reskins of the base model, which is unfortunate. It would be really cool if we saw like that M2 carbine paratrooper model kind of stock, you know, like the wire stock with the pistol grip kind of shape. Ooh, clean headshot, point blank range. That's clearly like a one tap, like clearly. Stopping power with the M14 is just godly. wish there was an enemy right every fucking corner. The best PKM is PKM with double tap. I feel like it just is perfect. It is the perfect looking LMG. Yeah. I don't really know. But yeah, dude, so that's the M16 for instance. It looks really neat with the battle worn skin. I really wish that the handguard was not cracked open like that. That small crack, I mean, it's not like it's too much like cracked, but it's like, dude, it's like, come on now. But if you do that, you'll notice that very quickly most all M16 variants have this sort of the side rails only go halfway, and then it's, you know, Picatinny rail. Now this, the tactical fighter on the M16, just looks kick-ass. I think this is one of the best looking M16s. Now the Challenger has this unique, I don't know, weird ass looking M16 finish. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. The Mastercraft M16 has the perfect stock and grip, but unfortunately I wish it had a full-on wooden handguard like the battle-worn handguard, except in a wood finish that is not cracked or damaged. That is the only handguard like it that we have. The other handguards, for whatever reason, also have you can see the Picatinny through it. This one is nice and tight. I like the tight look on it. It looks very classic. I like that look, that style, that aesthetic. I don't know, that's that. Now the M14, and we're talking about the M14 with some of its variants out there. If you look at the Dawn, it does take a wooden like grip. I like the way the wood looks on here. Unfortunately, I would prefer the Dawn to actually be battle worn just with the Dawn finish of wood. I think it would look really sweet. It still looks really good for what it is, but still I think that the battle worn would look way better. Challenger is like one of the most unique skins out there. It's not as good as Center Mass or Tactical Warfighter. I say Tactical Warfighter, it's just Tactical Fighter. But it definitely, the Challenger just, I hate the way Challenger looks on 90% of the shit it's on. Mastercraft in this case, I'm okay with it having the Picatinny covers on the side rails. It's just, I would still prefer the battle worn. So these are just literally just reskins. These other ones with the wood furniture are literally just reskins of the base model. Peacekeeper, I would be fine with it the way it is, with the Picatinny covers being gold. I'd be perfectly fine with that. My big disappointment here is that they're all just reskins. The only two unique variants are the Challenger and the battle worn. The thing is, people might be like, well, what do you mean unique? What about Center Mass and Warfighter? they're pretty much reskins of one another, and yeah, they do change the way it looks overall, but they are literally just reskins of each other. Literally reskins of each other. They're the same skin with different color schemes. So, for instance, the center mass is literally just Tactical Fighter, except it has golden, red, and black, and dark gray, which is a good color scheme. But when you have light gray, dark gray, black, and beige, it's like, yeah, the color schemes are very similar. You swap the beige for red, you swap the dark black for gold, and you have pretty much the exact same thing. The only unique difference here is if you actually look at center mass, there's more red on it. There are 3 coats of red, like dark maroon and a really dark red, and it can even see some lighter red on the laser sight module thing right there. Which on this there's a little bit more details. So on the side you'll see that thing is vented on the side, or it's got the vent design on it. This is just flat, and I don't know if you guys can see what I'm talking about, but if you look at the laser sight module, there's this like black handguard piece on the side of it, right next to the right behind the laser sight. It's really hard to kind of point out, but it does not have it on this side. This side it's flat, but on this side, right behind the laser sight module, you see that little black thing. I guess that's where your thumb rests or whatever. On this version, it is the thumb rest thing, or whatever to call this damn thing, finger rest or whatever, is vented. That is the only other big difference. Beyond all that, you have your sight is golden, whereas your sight is black. Which I actually think that if they made the dials for your sighting like a beige kind of color or something, they put another color in there, I think it would have made it look really nice and detailed there. But again, that's just my opinion. If we take a look at the G36, the pretty much nothing changes at all. It is literally the same gun, just reskinned. It's got some duct tape and some other shit around it. That's it. That's it. The only thing that's unique is the grip and the stock. Those are the only 2 things that are actually unique. The Challenger is goofy because Challenger, like Center Massive Warfighter, has something very similar going on to it, where it's only half the carry handle. The other half is Picatinny. I don't like that. This also has a really weird compensator muzzle brake looking thing. It's really weird. If we look at the Lynx Battleborn, doesn't do anything to it at all. The BOS, barely anything at all. The XMLAR, barely anything at all. But real distinct. The only real big difference is it's got the wiring around the foregrip, or the front of it or whatever. It's got that wiring around it, and the stock has tape on it. The mag and grip also have tape on it. That's just a big difference, really. That's the only thing you can really see that is extremely different. Now, if we go to the MP5, Battle Scarred is not a unique here. It is literally Masterpiece reskinned. It's still a nice looking skin though. Actually, it's the other way around. Masterpiece is actually Battle Scarred reskinned. Masterpiece is still really nice looking. I like the AK-74U on Masterpiece. I like the wood choice that they chose there. Now with the P90, I felt like they could have done a little more here. But everything else it typically turned out pretty nice. And so with that being said, it's almost the same around here. The Uzi has that weird tape, and a little bit of barbed wire. Tape. Actually, let's get a load of that. Let's take a look at the actual other skins though. Tiki looks really nice on here. Apart from that, one of the uniques is, well, reactive. You get, with the suppressor, you have the unique barrel. Now, suppressor on the MP5 usually changes the way the MP5 looks. It changes the grip style. So you see how this is kind of like a triangular shape almost? Not really, I don't think triangular is the word to describe it. Well, I mean, it looks like a right side triangle, right? Looks like a flat line with a line underneath it, and then it sort of diverts or comes at a diagonal angle, or whatever, however you want to describe it. This foregrip changes with when you add a suppressor. It gets rounded. See the difference when you look at them? And the nice thing about that is it always applies on these other weapon skins. So like on Tiki, for instance, right? If you actually look at it, the foregrip here is got that wood finish. But if you suppress it, it actually just changes the way that looks. So I thought that was kind of a cool, neat feature. It would have been cool to see this in wood. I think it would have been cooler. But whatever, right? So anyway, what I thought was kind of neat, right, is how all of these have the sort of weird, have that sort of weird circular kind of look to them, right? Now, this kind of changes on the, and the suppressors also change too. The suppressors look a lot thicker and wider. Whereas Masterpiece and Battle Scarred, the suppressors are normal size, which I thought was kind of neat. Kingpin is pretty nice. It has an exclusive, not skin, but exclusive feature, and that's the fact that it doesn't have a stock on it. It's kind of cool. Now, what's really neat is on Urban Operator, it keeps that default style handguard with the normal size suppressor. So I thought that was really cool how they did that. Beyond all that, that's mainly the MP5 rundown. Nothing else really matters. But if we actually look at this and we go to the Battle Worn, the stock is actually different here. The stock actually does change. It has this weird cushioning thing attached to it. And literally has some yellow tape around the forearm, and has some weird grip texture thing around the pistol grip. So it is the least damaged. It's the least damaged of the regular weaponry here. Now, apart from that, nothing else really matters here. There's just a lot of cool stuff to look at here. I really think if you're going to get an MWR, one of the best weapons you can go for is the MAC-10. This thing is a beast. If you're going for any DLC weapon to grind for the MAC-10. Let me just show you how much devastation the MAC-10 really is here. I will showcase this to you guys. Leave a comment if you guys agree that this is the best SMG in the game next to the P90. And the reason I say that, and I have a very valid reason as to why I say this gun is better than the P90. The P90 is nice because of its total ammo count, being at maximum with Bandolier at the 350 rounds. Or 300 rounds, or whatever. 50 round magazine capacity, your normal capacity is 150. Got to 3 mags, or 4 mags, whatever, I don't know, look at it. Now with the rapid fire attachment on there, double tap, you literally just drop hell on an enemy. Now, granted, it is on like 1 or 2 enemies when you have this attachment, because of how fast you run through that mag. So unfortunately, it's unfortunate that there was no extended clips in this one. I don't think that would be until Modern Warfare 2 or 3. But to be honest with you guys, one of the nice things is actually putting up stopping power on this. Stopping power on this literally makes a difference.
UAV recon standing by. Our UAV is online.
No, I just dropped a whole mag and he didn't die. The nice thing about the P90 in those oddity scenarios, you actually have a larger hit probability. You have 50 rounds and a steadier fire rate with less recoil. Your hit probability at medium to far range for SMGs is more likely than that of a suppressed mag. Your kill probability, though, is extremely low with the MAC-10 suppressed, considering that you're making your exit range more broad and your base fall-off range more broad. That's the only issue with this MAC-10, but up close with something like double tap, even something like stopping power, I feel like it would be more overpowered. Only my opinion though, guys. But yeah, I'd recommend going for the MAC-10, and this is actually, it performs really well. And I never have an issue with its recoil or anything like that. It's really accurate when hip firing on small, controlled, steady bursts. But the thing is about this, fire in rounds of 4-round bursts. Try to do at least 4 or 5 round bursts, because you're spraying enough shots to overkill an enemy at up close range. So it's like in those bursts, you're going to almost guarantee yourself a kill while minimizing your total probability of mag dumping your whole mag into one enemy. And that's the thing, if you take off the suppressor, then it has normal range, and let's say you did this, let's say you put on stopping power, I'll show you exactly how quick your base time to kill is. This thing has a very fast fire rate, but with double tap, the whole fire rate thing, just you're dumping whole mags. With less fire rate, you're more likely to control your bursts and to control your spray firing. With that being said, you're pretty much almost guaranteed to... Yeah, this is a good performance setup, no attachments for stopping power. This is what a lot of people run, simply because that range boost makes this weapon a lot more versatile. And to be honest with you guys, the iron sights on this actually aren't all that bad. So yeah, that's just an example. It's a very high damaging SMG. Now the Fang is really good. The only SMG I have a problem with is that 3-round burst SMG, the PK, whatever it is. That gun just, it's very situational, and it's very rare to actually get what you really want out of that gun. Considering it was the last SMG, pisses me off. An SMG I would love to actually see in this game was a Tommy gun, even though it's totally not a modern warfare-esque weapon. If not a Tommy gun, then an MP7. I wish that we had another line of SMGs. An MP7 for the assault rifles, an FN FAL, because here's the thing, the G3 and the M14, and I think there's one other single shot weapon, I think, right? M14 and G3, those are it. You have one 3-round burst, and the thing is, you have this really old ass MP44. It'd be really cool if they also added an MP5, not MP5, an MP40, which would have been really neat. Would have been also neat to see a Mauser C96 and a Makarov in this game. Even though those guns are extremely outdated, there are still some countries that would still use that. There's some, not really the Mauser C96, that's unrealistic. I think one of the many things I would love to have seen from pistols and secondary weapons in this game is actually it's this pistol. It's called the FN57. Basically what it does is it shoots 5.56. It would be stronger than the Desert Eagle, have a very low amount of ammo. Total ammo count would have to be extremely low, at least 3 or 4 mags, 8 rounds or whatever, or 10 rounds. So the thing is, you're getting less ammunition, but you're getting a lot of damage. But the thing is, your magazine size is comparable to that. It would have been also really neat. I mean, here's the thing, right? When we look at damage stats and all that across all pistols, for the most part, it's mostly the same. Been really cool to see the 1911 do a little bit more damage than the USB 45, because I feel like the 1911, personally speaking, could use a little bit more damage, at least 5 more damage. Because here's the thing, even that 5 more damage makes all the more difference at far range. Because here's the thing, if this gun has the same amount of, or less range than the USB 45, the time to kill is going to be almost comparable, because the amount of range you get from fall off with your damage, if it has 5 more damage, you're still getting a similar amount of DPS at that far range. And up close, your DPS with stopping power, if it was 5 more, would be more like comparable. You'd have a slightly higher amount of total damage, and that time to kill speed definitely would translate to far range and medium range, and also the headshot multipliers. So yeah, that's my opinion. The 1911 would have been strong, a great second strong weapon. Now the thing is, we get into these pistols. Now this gun does less damage. The BRN does less damage than the Desert Eagle, but the thing is, it only does 5 less damage than the Desert Eagle. The thing about the Desert Eagle versus the Magnum, and I think the Magnum should have done 5 more damage or 3 more damage above the Deagle, because I feel like the Magnum could have totally done more damage than the Deagle itself. The strongest damage pistol in the game, the stopping power would be just so overpowered, right? Be a one tap. But the thing is, what makes the Magnum better than the Desert Eagle is it can be suppressed. It would have been really cool to see a 38 Special be stronger than the Beretta, but less stronger than the 1911, but having a faster double action fire rate and a weird-ass reload and a cool custom animation. The thing is, most of the pistol animations are mostly the same. The only 2 unique ones are the burst pistol, which the thing is, it's burst pistol. The other pistol I would have actually preferred to see, apart from the actual FN57, which would have, I think, been really cool to have a very long range pistol. It would be like almost G3 range on a pistol. The thing is, that's damage capability. The accuracy at that range is questionable and just unlikely. It's just unneeded. The thing is, it also have a really slow reload speed and a really slow draw speed. Would be the issue that a lot of people would have with it, but that's the price you pay for high damage, high range, and high accuracy. the recoil rate would be really decent, and it would have a little bit of idle sway due to its heaviness. Apart from the 5.7 being completely impractical, but definitely a really dope-ass weapon of Makarov. Because Makarovs are cool looking and they're just stylistic. And the thing is, it would be Russian themed, which would basically be like the terrorist weapon, terrorist's sidearm. Now, even though this weapon's kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. This weapon's just really weird. It is just really, really weird. Because it is a 3-round burst weapon. And the thing is, if it had a faster burst cycle, I would actually give it a higher rating. But the thing is, this thing still is the highest DPS pistol in the game because of its burst. It's an M16 pistol, which is actually really good. But I think a 5.7 would have been a better pick, to be honest with you. But the machine pistol is kind of neat. I think that it would have been cool to see the 5.7 and a Glock 18. Being the fact that the Glock 18 is a full auto pistol, it would have given this thing a run for its money in the auto pistol department. It would have been also cool if they added another auto pistol, the Beretta 93 Raffica, as it is also a 3-round burst pistol, but with a stock. So I would make it have a really slow draw speed and having a similar amount of ammo, maybe just one or 2 rounds more in the magazine, having that extended capacity but having less overall ammo, and give this thing more overall ammo and the Raffica's really slow reload speed, really slow ADS speed, but the Raffica would have much better recoil control, similar damage, but further range and range capability for controlled bursts, and give this thing a faster bursting speed. So I would totally balance it out like that. And I think it would literally make this weapon feel more, with there being other pistols that sort of, even the 5.7 would not really compete with these weapons. It would just sort of be a weapon that says, hey, I do my own thing. It'd be perfect for a sniper long range loadout, especially suppressed. The 5.7 I feel like would be totally a badass suppressed pistol for this game, since the suppressors are the only actual attachment. Now, it'd be really cool if the suppressor for the Raffica increased it'd be really cool if the Raffica itself would have a tighter hip fire group, like a really tight grouping, where all 3 shots hit the same spot. I think that would make the Raffica just the better weapon overall, because if you're hitting the chin area, it's all hitting the face, versus hitting the upper dome. The first 2 shots, second shot may hit it at far range, and the third shot's not going to hit it at all. But giving this thing a faster cycling speed with less ammo means your spraying is a lot quicker, but you're running out of ammo more consistently, meaning you have to need a larger ammo pool because you're constantly reloading and possibly wasting ammo. Where the Raffica has a larger capacity, tighter grouping, slightly less faster speed, which means it's a lot tighter and more controlled and less recoil bouncing all over the place with tight recoil control, meaning it's one of the most accurate burst firing machine pistols. The Glock basically having a highest capacity of 38 rounds, meaning the highest capacity pistol in the game, but it only needs that amount of ammo because it would be full auto. The thing about that is there is no stock option for it. It would just have a really decent pistol grip, which means if you're firing it in taps of like semi-auto, it would be extremely good. But the thing is, that small taps and small controlled bursts, the thing is, that's just inconvenient. Spraying an enemy up close would just be extremely devastational, and nothing would really compete. Is the issue when it comes to the fact that, an auto pistol means that you're constantly going to have 0 recoil, especially when ADSing would be completely impractical, and spraying would still be difficult. So even with the hip fire, like let's say you had steady aim, with that I feel would be really cool just to see how that would actually play out in combat. Imagine running a Glock Glock 18 with auto sear and suppressing it, hearing a full auto suppressed Glock would just, I don't know, it would just sound totally badass for this game. Imagine that coupled with imagine that with double tap. Imagine how fast the firing would be suppressed. What that would sound like with the Mac 10, and then imagine that you have the tighter hip firing group, and then you get bandolier for more total ammo. I think that would be really fun to just see people run around doing that kind of thing. It would have been also cool to see dual-wielded 1911s and dual-wielded Berettas. And dual-wielded Magnums, dual-wielded Deagles, those weapons dual-wielded. It would have been really sweet to see dual-wield capabilities in this game on certain weapons. I don't think it would be appropriate to give the USP-45 dual-wield capability, considering it's got a small underbarrel laser sight. And considering it has more accuracy and more range than the 1911. So I don't think that would be fair by any mark. I think the USP also has slightly less recoil. It has a better recoil, like pattern. It's better recoil. So seeing that dual wield, just not fair at all. And considering it holds, I think, more rounds too. So that just, no, not fair. Beretta, less damage. I think the Beretta should definitely do like 3 less damage than the 1911. Because of 9mm versus 45 ACP. It's just, a known fact. I think I'm going to stop talking because, whatever. What I would have done with the game is different from what the actual people did with the game. The other thing is I would not disappoint us. Because, see, here's the thing. You got 3 assault rifles, 3 SMGs, and 3 handguns. That's a total of 9 main weapons. Main weapons meaning common weapons used. Uncommon weapons used in this game are shotguns, so you only see 2. Uncommon weapons in this game classified as snipers and LMGs. So, 3 categories. So, here's the thing, right? 2 categories of your primaries get 3 additional picks, versus the 3 categories that only get 2 picks. So, instead of having 2 categories getting 2 picks and 3 getting 3, it's the opposite around. So, the 3 other categories, meaning sniper rifles, shotguns, and LMGs, only get 2, whereas these 2 categories of assault rifles and submachine guns get 3 new weapons, which are the Lynx, BOS, and the XM. And for this, it's the Mac 10, the Fang, and the PK PSD9, which is actually literally just a 3-round burst pistol and a Roni configuration, which I thought that was kind of cool that they did that. Now, the thing would be cooler if they actually added the MP7 and a Glock in that configuration, because the Glock in a Roni and full auto, now imagine it has a dual drum mag of 100 rounds, it would actually be competing with something like the P90 because it would hold 50 more rounds. It'd be a pocket LMG with very low range and accuracy. So the thing is, it would have better recoil, but it would be way less accurate, way less damage at far off range, and you could suppress it, and, it would totally be great and all that, and you can make the stats shittier than the MP or the P90. You can make it shittier. You can make the range shittier. You can make the accuracy and fire rate shittier and mobility shittier because of 100 rounds, right? And you can make the reload speed god awful, and you can make the weapon swap speed and the draw speed really slow, and the knife to whatever speed super slow, and you can make a bunch of things to make it really ass. But it would still be competing with it because of capacity purposes. But the thing, though, is it would make it to where the P90 is still relevant, despite the fact that the Glock would basically, the Roni Glock configuration would basically be doing what the P90 is made to do, a pocket LMG, but is doing it almost twice as good because it has 50 more rounds. And 50 rounds in a submachine gun is no joke. Having 100 rounds in a submachine gun is just ridiculous. So yeah, just seeing that and a MP7 would definitely be really sweet. The MP7, because it would be lighter, and it would basically be an MP5 But the MP7 would basically have a lot more mobility. It'd be the highest mobility, well, not the highest mobility, but it would be competing somewhere between the Uzi and Scorpion and the MP5. You'd have the MP5 style, you'd have the mobility of the Uzi or the Scorpion. Scorpion would have the highest mobility, I think, because it's like one of the lightest, like, I don't know. I think all SMG mobilities equal. I don't know. You'd have, I don't know, really fast mobility with it. And the thing is, you have better sprint with it. And the thing is, you can aim it and draw it way faster than any other of the full-size submachine guns. And still, like, imagine just putting a red dot on it, running it around with the stopping power would be really overpowered. That, or I'd actually, it's either that or using the UMP-45. The UMP-45 is like some John Wick type shit and would have really good damage, because I don't think there's a single submachine gun here that is calibrated in, never mind. The Fang 45 is calibrated in 45 ACP, but apart from that, not much else. For assault rifle picks, though, if I were to add 2 more assault rifles in the game, assault rifles, I would add the FN-FAL, and for a final pick, for a super pick, for the one pick that would basically change the game, I'd put in a Scar H. Yeah, I said it, I'd put in a Scar H. Yeah, it would be totally unpractical completely, but the thing is, I mean, it's a Scar H, so stylistically speaking, whatever. So that would be 2 more picks. So for the pistols, the 2 more picks, I'd give it 3 picks. Fuck it, it's pistols, right? Makarov, Glock, and Beretta 93 Raffica. 2 machine pistols and a Imprat, and just another regular standard pistol. Thing is, if I had to add a 4th one, it would definitely be the 5.7. Just because snipers, I would add another semi-auto sniper. It would be, I don't know, man. Probably be something sort of like this. Sort of like this, though. Wouldn't be this exactly. Probably, you know, come to think of it, dude, I'd probably add like an anti-tank rifle thing that literally one-taps everything, even juggernauts, and blows up cars on one shot. Yeah, it would shoot an explosive round, so it would do explosive damage. So it would combine like the effects of sonic boom. It would multiply its effects, which would be really cool because it would also increase the blast radius of the explosion, which would make it really effective, right? But the thing is, I don't know, something like that just doesn't seem appealing for a game like this. You see, instead I would run something like, I don't know, an H&K G36 sniper, like the Resident Evil 4 semi-automatic sniper rifle. I would do something like that, something really advanced with a really fast reload speed and a high capacity in the sniper like configuration, with high amounts of accuracy, fast fire rate, and this and that. I don't know, it would be really aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. The other thing I would add to this is the what's it called? I'd add a Mosin Nagant. As it is like a historically sought after weapon, whatever. And the other one I'd add would be like a Carcano rifle. Not really, because if we were to do that, then it's like, well, what would be the point of the Mosin if we got a Carcano? Well, JFK was shot with a Carcano. I'm just trying to think. Definitely adds a World War II sniper to this. But come to think of it, really, I would add like a precision rifle kind of like thing that has iron sights instead of a scope. And I think that in the sniper category would be just really cool actually. And then I'd add something really lame like a 3-round bursts DMR thing. And I think that would be just so game breaking that people would just be like, oh, what the fuck's the point of this? It's something unique in the category. It's something that's only a one-off. And nothing else in the game would be 3-round burst DMR. But that would. Shotguns. What other shotgun I would add? Probably a Spaz 12. Those things are very cool looking, very stylistic. It would basically be a semi-automatic with more capacity and way more range. And that would basically make it one of the best shotguns in class thus far. Apart from that, apart from the Spaz 12, the other shotguns, probably another pump action. Don't really care what model, just another pump action shotgun. Something with a faster reload speed, of course, with less rounds in it. So that would basically mean that the reload animation generally is faster, but it also has less rounds, so it would basically be twice as fast at that point. But the other thing is that I would probably also add, for the third shotgun, probably another full auto shotgun, like probably like a USAS 12. Yeah, man, the game only gives you 2 shotguns. And I feel like the Rangers being dual-wielded double barrels, it would have been really cool to see a single. It would have been really dope to see a Spaz 12. Because I know those are not really modern shotguns, but they're really cool. LMGs, ooh. Okay, for LMGs, I'd probably give it a stoner. LMG, those are really cool. An RPK, those are really cool. And yeah, that's it. I'd only add 2 more. Yeah, man, that's really it. Apart from that, I would change the way perks work. I'd allow you to use 3 RPGs instead of only 2. I'd allow C4s to have bigger blast radius. I'd make claymores do more damage, and I'd make it so you can have 4 each. For frags, I'd also make the blast radius of your frag grenades increased. Well, not blast radius. I'd make it so the range in which you chuck them is increased, like how far you can throw them. Bandolier, I would also make it to where your magazines you have on your gun have more ammo, but not a whole lot though, like 5 or 4 more rounds or whatever, just something that holds you over. That's it for the blue perks, really. For the special grenades, because it's like flash and stun grenades, I'd allow the effects of those grenades to last longer. For bomb squad, I'd make it so that if you were to pick up an enemy explosive, it would basically recheck the detonation time of that explosive, and you can throw it back, and you can throw it back fast. But, whatever. So it's something that's so weird. Stopping power, I would make this increase the bullet, like the damage range as well. Juggernaut, I'd also make it so where your recovery for your health is increased. That would be really OP. Sonic Boom, I would make it to where the explosive stun effect and blast radius are also further increased. So something like C4s would be super deadly. I also make Sonic Boom make you take less explosive damage, and I'd also do that with Juggernaut, less explosive, but not as much as Sonic Boom. UAV Jammer, I'd also make this to where what do you call it? I'd also make this to where I don't fucking know. That's really tough because it's like a one-time purpose thing. I'd make it to where like you don't appear on like gunship cameras. I'd make it so that way the helicopters don't target you. I'd also make it to where it decreases, like if you were to shoot your gun with it unsuppressed, I'd also make it to where the dot, it definitely flashes so quickly and it's not the exact spot on which you're actually at. and you know, stuff like that. I don't know, very stealthy. I'd actually also add a secret effect to where it doesn't give enemies hit markers when they shoot you, which would be really strange but cool. This, I'd make it to where it could swap weapons and aim down sight faster, and yeah. Double tap, obviously, cycling speed of semi-autos are increased, and so apart from that, really it also reduces recoil one spraying more than 4 shots downrange. So for full auto weapons, it's really useful. Overkill, I would literally give it the ability to grab a secondary weapon and also have the ability to be able to equip an extra perk from the red category, with Juggernaut and Stopping Power being wiped out, meaning it would only be Sonic Boom and UAV Jammer. It would be Double Tap, Juggernaut, and Stopping Power annihilated, so it would literally be Sonic Boom, UAV Jammer, or Fast Hands. So Fast Hands would be what I would go for with Overkill, because I like to grab a shotgun as a secondary, just in case, or a submachine gun, and being able to have fast ability to use those weapons are really good, especially when using Bandolier, because Bandolier gives you more total ammo, and if you have a, let's say your primary weapon is an M16 or something like that, a high damage, let's say it's an AK-47, being able to reload an AK-47 fast is really crucial. But, you know, whatever. Second stand, I'd basically make it to where players can actually revive you. Up to 3 times. So you could use that ability up to 3 times before your last time and it's out. Extreme conditioning, basically I'd also increase the recovery rate of the extreme conditioning itself and take less damage while running, and also being able to spray while running. It's a very mobile thing, and I think that making it more aggressive would definitely make more people use this. It's already a highly used thing. Steady aim, I would decrease total recoil and increase accuracy while aiming. And also decrease the sway, idle sway, by 80%. This would make the ACOG actually useful. So if you ask me, something like steady aim, making your sights sway a lot less and making them way more accurate on a sniper rifle, steady aim I think would be really good. Deep impact, I'd increase the total range, bullet speed, and the ability to deep impact. So combining that with firepower, something like the G3 would be overpowered, because having higher damage range a little bit, suppressing it, you know, and reducing the effective suppressor on it would be really cool. But the problem with the G3 suppressed is it has a small glitch. When you try to knife somebody with a suppressed G3, it doesn't work. The only effect I'd add is that enemies, if an enemy kills you up close and there's a certain amount of feet for it will auto detonate and do double damage and have triple blast radius. So this would basically have a higher chance or likelihood of actually killing your enemies. Iron lungs. Only thing I would change to this is also make it to where you can run a little bit longer, and also make it to where whenever you're aiming down any weapon, you aim down your weapon a little bit more steadily. Eavesdrop, I'd make enemy footsteps louder and basically allow it to mark enemies on your minimap when you hear their footsteps. At a certain distance from you, it will auto mark them on your map. That would be really useful for this useless ass perk. Being able to hear voice chat when nearby. This sucks. Dead silence, make less noise whenever you move. This would counter this. No one is going to use this, so this would be really good. Yeah, that would be the changes I'd make. So my loadout would probably be steady aim, stopping power, and probably bandolier. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys like my opinions on how they could have made this game more OP, more fun, that's my opinion. Still a great game, though. It's Modern Warfare Remastered.